They're not looking for name and name. They're looking for us give a document that proves that this person was on the island or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're self-proving evidence, and I think Ghislaine Maxwell can give them that. I was part of the legal team that got the original deal for Jeffrey Epstein, and it did include a statement that said the United States government will not prosecute any of Epstein's co-conspirators. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell was certainly a co-conspirator. That's why she's in jail. And so the Supreme Court, if it grants review, probably won't because generally doesn't. But if it were to grant review, would have to deal with that issue. It's a very tough issue. Look, let me make 2 points that will be very controversial, and you may disagree with them completely. Jeffrey Epstein was not a pedophile. That term has a specific meaning. It means people who are sexually attracted to prepubescent girls or boys. That is 11, 12 years old. That's the definition of all psychiatrists and of the law. Epstein was interested in 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. He was a bad person, did terrible, terrible things. The word pedophile is not a correct description of what he was. Number two, he was not a trafficker. Traffickers make money by selling and enslaving girls. What he did is he was a selfish guy who was having sex with all these, sexual contact at least, with all these 16, 17-year-olds, and maybe lending them to people like Prince Andrew. We don't know for sure. But he was not a trafficker in the true sense of the word. That's why there's no client list. There were no clients. And the other
because there was no money being exchanged.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah. And the other point, he didn't work for the Mossad. I know that because I debriefed him when I was trying to make a deal for him back in 2006, 7, and he would have told me if he had a deal, if he was working for the government, because it would have helped him get a clear, better deal.
I will tell you that Business Insider reported this week that 4 people have gone through every bit of it, and they have come out and said he was clearly not intelligence. The idea that he was in intelligence was not said by the prosecutor in Florida, although it's attributed to him. It wasn't said by him. He said, I never said it, and it looks as though a newspaper took a quote from one anonymous sort that said he's absolutely intel. He's deep with intel, and that's where that came from. So,
no, I think it came from something else too. Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, probably was a source for intel.
Yes,
but I don't think that Jeffrey Epstein had any contact with Robert Maxwell. The chronology doesn't work. Maxwell died or was killed. Remember, he was on his boat and he was found in the Mediterranean. And he may have been an intelligence resource. We don't know. But that's what led people to say, oh, if Maxwell, then maybe through Ghislaine, he must have been too. If he had been in intelligence and worked for the government, the first thing he would have done is told his lawyers so that his lawyers could have used it to get an even better deal. He was furious at the deal, the sweetheart deal. He had to serve 18 months and get registered as a sex offender. When I helped him get that deal, he fired me, refused to pay my legal fees, and said I was the worst lawyer he ever had because he didn't think that was a particularly good deal. He wanted a better deal. He didn't want to have to register as a sex offender, and he didn't want to have to go to jail. But he did.
As they are saying, release all the records, which I am for. Release everything. Open it all up. But I'm also torn, and it kind of goes to the theme of your book. We are such an irresponsible people that have just checked out. We don't ask critical questions, no critical thinking. If we see a headline that says so-and-so on the island, they could be there as a priest, performing an exorcism on a tree or whatever, had nothing to do with anything, we would all say that priest is guilty because we would not look into it. We're too irresponsible, aren't we?
Yeah, let me give you 2 examples. There's a woman whose name is Sarah Ransom, and she wrote 20 or 30 or 50 emails to the New York Post, a reporter named Maureen Callahan, saying she had videotapes, literally videotapes, of Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Richard Branson, all having sex with teenagers. So if you release that, that sounds terrible. But she then admitted she made up the whole story. that there's no truth to it whatsoever. Or another woman named Maria Farmer, who has blamed everybody. And it now turns out she's not only a complete liar, but she's a virulent anti-Semite and Holocaust denier. Her most recent tweet says the Jews weren't killed, they killed all the Germans. And this is somebody who CNN puts on. CNN has put her on 3 or 4 times without revealing what a liar she is and what an anti-Semite she is. So the people believe her accusations. And that's the problem. Unless you also reveal the credibility issues of the accusers, it would be unfair just to list the people who are accused without knowing that the accusers are people with long histories of lying. So that's why I'm in favor of everything being released. From day one, I wanted everything released. I've waived all of my privacy rights, my legal lawyer-client rights. I want everything out there. So the public, even though I agree with you, the public will rush to conclusions, but at least everything will be out there. Right now, we have selective releases, which are unfair to everybody.